Hello and welcome back to my channel. First, I'd like to apologize. It's been over a month since my last confession. A lot has changed, lots going on, and in this video, I'd like to kind of get everybody up to speed, kind of do an update video on what I've been up to and also where I am headed. It's imminent, it's happening soon. Currently I'm out on my morning walk from the marina, which is approximately 500 feet over there. I take this walk pretty much every morning. Sometimes I miss it, but mostly it's every morning. I come out here and I walk all the way out to Bodega Head. So I thought on today's little walk that I would attempt to do this update video, which has been a long time coming and kind of hard to make. So let's get started. This is my first stop on my walk. Again, I'm in this park. I'm on a nice park bench overlooking Bodega Bay, where I have been living on my boat for almost a year straight. I've had the boat for 2 years, but I've only started living on it about 9 months ago. Things are going good. I really enjoy living on a boat. I've now lived in sky-rise condominiums in downtown Chicago, farmhouses in Wisconsin. I've lived in shitty apartments and beautiful homes. I've lived in a Winnebago, and now I've lived on a sailboat. And I gotta say, out of all the places that I've lived, I really enjoy living on the sailboat. It's just so nice to be that close to nature. It just, you're constantly are informed and are aware of what's going on around you, even though you don't even realize it. You just kind of have an eye to the sky and you're watching things change. You're watching the tides change and you're watching animals in the marina, and it's been magical, really has been. And I highly recommend it. I do. It's not easy. I hit my head all the time. It's a little chilly out here today, so I got the hood up, but I hit my head all the time, and it's not, I guess, the most comfortable place I've ever lived, but I am finding it very rewarding. And yeah, like I said, if you're curious about it, that's what it is. It's not necessarily the sense of freedom, because I've kind of been locked into Bodega Bay here for a while, unable to move. I'll get into that later, but so not really feeling free. It's feeling closeness to your natural surroundings, and I would imagine that's the case pretty much anywhere you are. Even if you were in a marina that was surrounded by a city, that you're still connected to this, like this greater force, the planetary force itself, the tides and the weather and all this other stuff. So that's why I'm in it. That's why I'm experimenting with it, is to see if I like it. And yeah, so success. Success there for me. I do like it, and I want to continue with it. But things have changed dramatically, and I think what I'll do is get up and continue my walk and then stop again a little later on and fill you in on what's changed. Alright, so here I am for the second stop on my morning walk. I'm about maybe half a mile away from the marina, and the tide is out. It's very calm. Such a beautiful area up here, just really incredible. Yeah, really a magical spot here in Bodega Bay, and so I should probably kind of just illustrate how I got here and why I am here. I think that's probably relevant before I tell you what's up, which way I'm headed. Like I was saying, before I got here, I was living, how do I say this? I was living in a little town called Occidental, which is just up the road about 15 or 20 minutes. And I was living in a Winnebago that I renovated and turned into a home on a property. Beautiful property up in West Sonoma County. I don't know if you're familiar, but it's a very beautiful area. And while I lived there, I kind of was trying out a more nomadic lifestyle. I was interested in getting off grid and living as lightly as possible. COVID happened. It was all a big cluster. And then in the middle of COVID, this boat popped up in Bodega Bay, which again is like 15 minutes away from Occidental. And I met with the guy, and the price was right. And this was like an idea or a dream I'd had for many years. The idea of living on a sailboat. It wasn't so much about like sailing anywhere, going anywhere. It was just the idea of being in a boat and calling that home. I saw the opportunity, I saw it was a possibility, and so I jumped at it. And you know, finances are always included in all these decisions. Here in Northern California, housing is, if you're an artist like me who makes videos, freelance videos for various clients, the rent up here is cost prohibitive. It's just impossible if you're doing it on your own. And so underlying all these decisions to live in a Winnebago, to go off grid, to live in a sailboat is the persistent issue of housing here in Northern California. Had things been different, I don't know if I would have gone down the path that I would have gone down. Like if had there been a reasonable roommate situation or just a cheaper way of living, I might not have ever moved on to the boat. So I just wanted to make that clear, because I think a lot of these channels, with the sailing channels specifically, they're like, you know, I'm gonna sail around the world, or this is my goal, and all those things are dreams of mine. I'd love to do it. I have goals, but I'm also aware that those sorts of dreams take a long time, and that's the main reason that I've been stuck here in Bodega Bay, is that I don't have the confidence. It's not the equipment, it's the confidence. I don't have the confidence to just sail off to Hawaii, for example, which was I think the original dream was just to like step aboard this boat that I just bought and sail off into the sunset. But the reality is that you can die out there. And you know, you shouldn't do it, I don't think, if you don't know what you're doing. And so I've decided that this whole process is going to take some time before I can actually got people walking behind me, before I can actually like sail off around the world. I think that I have to pay my dues and learn the hard way how to get all this stuff done. So anyway, there's some people behind me. I think I'm crazy talking to myself. Still the hardest part. The hardest part is standing in front of this camera and spilling your guts. Yeah. So this experiment of living on the boat, as I was saying before, is something that I wanted to try, and I actually really like it. I like just living on the boat. Granted, I haven't really gone too many places. I've anchored out a few times and practiced on my own, but I'm doing this with no like background to sailing really at all. I've sailed like small kayaks in the past. I've sailed like I've done plenty of canoeing, but like moving a boat around a marina, setting the sails by yourself, anchoring by yourself, all these different things, I'm basically just making it up as I go along. So I'm taking things very slowly, because I can't really afford to fail. I can't afford to make a huge mistake and just do over. I can't do that. So anyway, theoretically that explains why I've been here in Bodega Bay now for a couple years, and which takes me to what happened and where I am about to go. So I think what I'll do is I will continue with my walk, and I'll answer that question in a minute. In the meantime, check out these birds. Anyway, the long and short of it is I've been here in Bodega Bay, living on the sailboat almost a year, but not a whole lot else has happened. And There's just not a lot of opportunity for a guy like me up here in Northern California. California in general, I think, is going through some pretty crazy changes, and it's making it very, very difficult for those of us who don't have a whole lot of money to exist here. So truth is, I was kind of looking for a way out, looking for something, anything, a place to go in the boat that was different, that I could set up shop and make a go of it, but nothing was really coming through. And then I was talking to some family back in Chicago. My father really needs some help right now with his house, and I was talking to some old clients of mine back in Chicago, and they said there might be some work there. So I've decided that come this November, I am going to be driving back across country to kind of help my dad in Chicago with his home and a few other things, and see if I can make some money, and then try to get back to California to be on my boat for, you know, a couple of months stretches at a time, as I'm gaining more experience. And eventually I would like to sail around the world. I'm gonna stop because there's a car. Okay, so sorry about that. The car's I don't like talking on camera in front of other people. It makes me feel funny inside. So this area right here is usually during the week anyway, it's usually pretty quiet. On the weekends it gets pretty crazy. In fact, this last Labor Day, this whole stretch of road was like a chock-a-block full of RVs and people with generators. They just moved in for the whole weekend. It was really kind of sad because they just destroyed it. It was really pretty awful. But anyway, back to where I was. Where was I? Right, yes, eventually I'm heading back to Chicago, where there's, well, at least not in the winter time anyway, not a whole lot of sailing going on. So what does that mean for my channel and what I'm doing here with these videos? Well, what it means basically is that I'm gonna be slowing down as far as like the number of videos that I put out. Obviously I haven't put out a video in a month, so I'm gonna be slowing down. What I'm doing right now is I'm documenting all the things that I'm doing, and I'll explain more about my impending trip here, my first real passage. So I'm filming all that stuff, I'm collecting it, I'm saving it up, and then my plan is to, when it's cold and miserable and snowing like crazy in Chicago, I'll start cutting that stuff together and sprinkle these videos out, maybe one a month, you know. And yeah, I want to keep it going, you know, like if I get some work in Chicago, then I can save some money and I can buy the things that I need for Dagny. She needs new sails, she needs a bunch of stuff, and I want to keep that going. So my plan is to, you know, do a few months in Chicago and then come out here to California and sail and make content. So I'm not stopping. I think this channel is it's been a huge part of the process so far. Kind of see where I'm walking. But yeah, I really want to continue doing these videos and making, specifically on this channel, making sailing content. So yeah, the content, I want to keep it going. I can't stress this enough that, like, by creating this content, I'm doing all this stuff alone. So by creating the YouTube channel and documenting the major projects and the practice and the docking practice, those sorts of things, has been hugely beneficial. The comments and the likes are great, but it's really not about that. It's about documenting what you're doing and being able to look at it and study it and see what you did right and see what you did wrong. So I highly recommend anybody who is doing this or anything else like it, you know, recording things has just been really, really helpful for me, and I would strongly recommend it. So yeah, I want to keep the channel going. Channel content is going to be more sporadic, or spread out rather. Hopefully I'll do one a month, and the content will be more action-packed and interesting, theoretically. A lot more sailing, a lot less jibber jabber. And that brings us to the plan, what's going on right now. And today is the 1st of September, I think, maybe the 30th. of October, I don't know. And I was supposed to be actually sailing south to on my first passage yesterday and today. So the plan is to take the boat out of the water and move it to a different marina where I have a friend who can kind of look after things while I'm in Chicago. And so that means I got to move the boat from Bodega Bay, sail all the way south down through San Francisco Gate, and then back north all the way up to Vallejo, where I will chill for an evening, and then on the next tide take the Napa River up to the Napa Valley Marina, where I'll get the boat lifted out of the water so I can do the bottom job that she needs desperately. And at that point, I will sail south to, looks like Redwood City Marina, which is all the way in South Bay, and where I'm going to store or berth Dagny. And again, like it's near a friend of mine who lives down there, the same guy who's actually going to go on this trip with me. His name is Remus. He's been a friend of mine for a long time, so he's going to be down there, and he's going to be using the sailboat in my absence, and maybe even making some content and sharing it with us as well, so we can kind of keep the story going that way as well. So not all is lost. I'm feeling very positive about all this stuff. I feel like it's kind of breaking the stasis of my experience here in Bodega Bay, which has been amazing, but extremely lonely and very difficult financially, very difficult emotionally. It's been a very lonely time, and I'm looking forward to changing that up and checking out new places, working, doing some good work for some good people, and kind of moving on with this whole adventure. So I'm gonna stop because I got some people. All right, I'm at the end of my walk now, right at the end of Bodega Head, not up on top of the hill, but just where Bodega, the actual channel, lets out into Bodega Bay and out into the open ocean. It's super beautiful. There's a sailboat over there who hunkered down last night because it was kind of crazy. Anchored just off of Dorham Beach. You can hear the foghorn there in the background. It's just beautiful. Anywho, I forgot where I was. So what I was saying before was that the first step in this big life change of mine is to get the boat south into San Francisco Bay and up to the Napa Valley Marina. And in order to do so, I have to sail in the open ocean for about 40 miles or so. And I'm not super confident in my abilities at this point, so I was very grateful when my friend stepped up to say that he could do this. But as I was also saying before, that today was the day. I was supposed to be going out today, and right now it's beautiful. It's very calm. It's probably too calm to sail, but we're supposed to leave yesterday, and I was watching the weather reports and just trying to figure things out, and made the call to postpone it because yesterday it was pretty wild. I actually came up to Bodega Head yesterday and got some footage just to prove that it was wild. Now the plan is to sail south this coming Thursday, so another 4 days away. It's the only time we could organize it, because believe it or not, the hardest part of this whole kind of thing is trying to organize how to get my vehicle, my actual truck, down to the marina, and then how do I sail down there and have access to my truck. So organizing all that has been probably the hardest part, but we think we got a plan, and the plan kicks off this coming Thursday. All right, walking back now to the boat. Doesn't conclude, still got to get back. But yeah, that's my morning walk. It's about 4 miles total. Thanks for coming along, appreciate it. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to update you on my big plans, all the big changes that are coming up. Thank you to anyone who has left a comment or subscribed or give me a thumbs up on my content that I've posted so far. I super appreciate it. You have no idea how many dark days those sorts of things got me through. Just a little bit of an encouragement. So I super appreciate that. Gonna stop for a couple cars. All that stuff is gonna keep going. The Patreon stuff and whatever, I'm gonna keep blogging and doing my thing. But the good news is, for you patrons out there, I only charge every time I post a video. So if I'm gonna post less videos, that means you're gonna be charged less. So anyway, thank you for your support. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking and subscribing. And I'll see you on the next adventure.